Point number 3 in the business, the survival of this decade for your business. Quality. Let's talk about this, quality. Point number 1, quality. The product or policies explain to your employees and your customers per merchandise. You're going to have to learn to explain the products and the policies to your employees and to your customers pertaining to the product or service that you're rendering. If you're selling, say for instance, clocks, and someone wants to return it, what is the policy of your business? How many days do they have? How much you going to give them back? Is it going to be an in-store credit, or are you going to give them back their money based on their debit or their checking account that they use to pay for the item? Or are you going to give them back cash, although they use a credit card or a debit card? And you're going to have to implement some policies when it comes to returns, from electronic versus food and liquids. If it's sealed or open, are you going to provide some returns and give them back their money, store credit? You're going to determine per product the quality of returns. Number 2, a specific item for each return or exchange or credit. How are you going to award them is kind of goes along with number 1 in quality. Number 3, your vendors complying with the handbook for each product. When the vendor is bringing products into your business and they come a week later and they're delivering bread, so to speak, and there's some stale bread, do they give credit? What is the compliance, the vendor compliance, about providing bread that's been not sold, or an item that has not been sold? What is your compliance when an item comes from the shipping house and is damaged? Before it even goes to the sales floor, you send it back to the vendor. Does the vendor give you a refund? This is a vendor compliance handbook that you need to have some kind of policy when it comes between you and a vendor, especially when it comes to profit, shipping, returns, and damaged products from the customer returning it. Do you get credit as the store returns it to the vendor for a product that's damaged by a customer? Is the question that you're going to need a vendor compliance handbook. Number 4, your vendor's relation is very important. You're supposed to be on the side of the vendor as well on the customer. Together, you work. So you and the vendor must work together, making sure the product is of quality, so you can put it on the shelf and sell it and monitor it. The date, the expiration date, circulate it, put it on clearance. Do you get any credit for that, or are you taking the write-off on it? You and the vendor are going to have to increase your relations together. That's point 4. Number 5, in increasing the quality of your sales, is to improve delivery, minimizing costs. And how you do this is determined is bulk buying versus having it shipped UPS or USPS. Which one is cheaper? Which one is the better buck for your customer? Who's making money? Where is the cost being eaten up at? The shipping cost is very important. How to ship it? Which is the cheaper way of doing things is going to be you're improving your delivery status. Is it better to order through what you call a McLean's? It's an example of a company today. Or is it better to have it shipped through the postal service or USPS or UPS? So you have to look at your delivery improvement, how to improve delivery. This will increase your sales by reducing the costliest way of shipping things. Is airplane versus waiting by ship for 2 weeks better? You can cut your costs by looking at the way things are delivered. Point number 6 is having local vendors supplying you things versus international deliveries. Is that cheaper? Will help increase sales. Because sometimes you get your bread right next door or your milk from right next door versus buying it or having it shipped from another state. It needs to be fresher if it was from a farmer right down the street or something. So you got to determine your local supply vendors. Is it better to purchase locally, international, or domestically? This will help you increase your sales by reducing the cost of shipping and buying locally and all that other stuff. Point number 7, consignment. Consignment vendors versus paying in advance. Sometimes you pay in advance for an item. You don't even know how long it's going to be on the shelf. You might buy a case of 12 and only sell 6, and 6 might still be on the shelf for 6 months, 5 months, 6 months. You have lost money on that whole case you already paid the vendor for. They took the check, they took the payment or whatever, and walked out the door, left you with a case of 6. You sell it individually, or a case of 12. You sell it individually, and you're stuck with 6 that didn't sell and it expired. You just lost money. Well, what you do is not buy that product again from the vendor. But a customer comes in and says, "Where is this product?" It just, customer desires fluctuate. You never know what they want, when they want. It could be a seasonal item. Somebody might want it only around Christmas or only around October. Here you have it on the shelf in April. It won't last till October, so it expires. And then during October, a customer may want a whole case, so you have to special order this thing. So you're gonna have to learn to, is local supplies better, or is international or domestic supplies better? And you're gonna have to learn, is consignment better versus paying in advance? Sometimes consignment is, you pay as you go. Sort of like greeting cards. A vendor comes in and he puts Christmas cards, 20 Christmas cards on a rack. You don't pay nothing. He just puts 20 cards. A week later, he comes back to count to see how many Christmas cards are missing. If there's 5 on that rack and you put 20, that means you sold 15. You owe him money for 15 cards that you either sold, somebody walked out, or it got dirty, or got lost, whatever. There's 15 cards missing, and you owe the vendor for 15 cards. That's why you ought to keep track of your consignments. A little book every time you sell, or it goes into a UPC system in your computer. It lets you know, you deduct how many you have in the quantity. But keeping track of your consignment is very important. It's called an inventory. Keeping track of your inventory. And every time you sell one, you owe that vendor his or her portion of that sale. And consignment sometimes is better. But you have to decide that. Which would increase the sales better for you? The risk of paying in advance or consignment. This will help you increase your sales by what kind of business do you have? Does it make sense?